Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have another Raw review. It was for March 17th, 2025. This was interesting Raw, I guess is the best way of saying it. I feel like they really banked on the opening sequence compared to everything else. So, like they did the same thing last week with banking on the main event, and I feel like they did the opposite here because the matches were something. There was a lot of like story stuff in between, but I feel like the matches themselves were less than stellar. So, yeah, let's jump into it. We started off with John Cena coming down, and the crowd let him have it. This crowd was top tier. This is probably one of the best crowds ever. Next to that French crowd last year at Backlash, I think this was pretty close up there because of them just being consistently loud and just getting their point across to Cena. And Cena's promo was really good. It just felt like he was talking from the heart. Like it just felt like everything that he's fought over the last couple years came out, and he just spoke from it. And I think honestly, if you look at that compared to some promos that other people can cut, like that is kind of insane. And then Cody Rhodes coming in there and just absolutely just destroying him by basically saying that he wants the actual John Cena version of him, like the hustle and all of that John Cena is not showing. And I like this rivalry. I think this is going to be an amazing main event at WrestleMania, and I think this story that we're having is great. I mean, we're almost a month out from WrestleMania, and this is an amazing match and like program that they're having together. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in S tier. It was a great way to start the show off. I feel like it was all downhill after that just because of how good it was. It was a huge portion of the show too. It was like 20 minutes, almost 25, I think maybe. And that was pretty crazy. But then we get into our first actual match, which was Penta versus Ludwig in a no holds bar match. Honestly, they kind of did go all over the rings, but they didn't really use many of the weapons. But I think overall the match was pretty nice. Obviously, Penta's still having that hot streak. The crowd was all on him. Ludwig, it's been great to go out there. I really thought maybe there was going to be some like extracurriculars. Maybe like Pete Dunne was going to come back down again. I felt like that would have maybe made a little bit more sense. I feel like they're not done with that, but maybe it'll be a future thing. But I think this match was pretty solid. I'd put it in a strong B. I think it was pretty good. I definitely feel like they should have, like, knowing how the rest of the matches go, I wish they would have gave this match a little bit more time to actually use some stuff and get some more spots, but it kind of just felt rushed at 10 minutes. But when you think about that, that was the second longest match of the night, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, so that's what we got from there. And then after this, at some point, because he had the promo saying that he was going after the Intercontinental Championship, which then in the backstage, Dom said to Finn Balor that they should get Penta into the group, and yeah, he didn't pay attention that Penta was going after the IC title, which is what Finn is on trying to get at the end of the match or end of the episode. So yeah, might have been a little bit of a miscue there for Dom, but a Penta, Dom, and Carlito combination wouldn't be the worst. But I don't think we see that because obviously Penta, I feel like, is a face to a certain extent right now. So I don't really see him joining the Judgment Day. But it was interesting that they are actively trying to recruit. Then we had Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile, which just kind of felt like a random throwaway match, to be honest, because it was like they could have just let them cook for like at least 5 to 6 more minutes. Like I feel like they would have been a lot better. Like they're obviously both good in the ring, and I know the whole sequence and everything was supposed to be like the LWO was going to come down and try to get Chad Gable, who was at ringside because of the whole like masked person that they believe is Chad Gable, and like that was like it was just kind of a side. This was a match to precursor that, but they could have made the match a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't really think this match deserves much higher than a D just because yeah, you can't even rate it on Cage Match because it's 2 minutes and 47 seconds. I feel like they should have gave both of these women a lot more time because I think they actually would have had a pretty solid match. We've seen it before and they have good in-ring chemistry. So maybe next time at least give them the 5 minute marks. We can at least rate it on Cage Match. Next up, we had LWO versus American Made. It kind of set up from that, set up with the Masked Assailant. Honestly, well, we actually had the J match in between that. I for whatever reason I thought this was the next match, but it's not. But yeah, we'll talk about that and then we'll go to the J. I feel like I messed that one up. But yeah, I don't really understand what they're doing with American Made because they lose 5 minutes and 46 seconds to the LWO. And yeah, it was pretty clean and pretty fast. Do not know why. And then at the end, the LWO was jumped by this masked assailant that is probably Chad Gable. But I've been trying to rack my brain. Who could it be if it's not Chad Gable? Like, is there anybody legitimately out there that could fit without being like completely just forced in there? Like, I don't think I can think of anybody that's kind of around. Like I maybe Andre Chase, maybe like I guess like Chase U and American Alpha have had like they've talked and stuff, so there could be a possibility. I don't know. The guy's kind of lengthy. I'm trying to think like size wise. I don't know though. I can't think of anybody to be honest. This match just wasn't it either. I'd put it in C. It was a little bit more entertaining than some of the other ones, but obviously wasn't that great. Then we had Jay versus Austin Fury, which Austin Fury got completely just jobbered out here in a 29-second match. It didn't even make Jay look good or dominant. And then obviously at the end of the match, Jay went to go take out both of these two. Had a little bit of a botch, so that was not good when you have very little time in the ring, and then that happens. But yeah, that was kind of not that great. He kind of got the upper hand on Gunther for the first time, but I think like all of it just didn't really work for me. And the storyline's kind of getting stale. We're gonna have A Town Down Under versus Jay in a mystery partner next week in Scotland. I feel like it's probably gonna be Joe Hendry. I don't know. I feel like the pop would be insane to have him there. I don't know who else it could be other than like Sammy coming back or something. I don't know. There's could be a lot of people, but I do believe it's Joe Hendry. I'm gonna put it in D. Next up, we had a nice little backstage promo with Karrion Kross and AJ Styles, which I don't necessarily like that Karrion Kross is targeting AJ Styles again because he's already turned him once. It just kind of feels redundant. I did notice, and I had seen other people had picked up on this too, but Karrion Kross matches the style of whoever he's turning to. Like he's like changes his hair the best he can and his beard and whatever he can do to kind of match it. And they obviously look really similar in this picture. I really just want to see them have a match. Is that too much to ask? Like I really wanted it to be like Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles. Let them go out there and have a match and even have like Logan Paul cost AJ Styles. That would further their rivalry, further his heel turn, and actually get Karrion Kross in the ring, who I don't think I've seen even on like main event or anything this year. So I'm still on the hook for this storyline, but I'm starting to dwindle off of it if we don't actually get something out of this. Then we had the contract signing between Bianca and Io Sky, which ended up with Rhea Ripley coming down and destroying both of them, then signing the contract and stealing it. I do not know how any of this is legal or how it works. It feels like they even mentioned it was childish. It feels childish. It doesn't feel like Rhea's learning anything. She's just being more of a child. Like it's kind of weird, and I feel like they could have set up a lot more if they really want this to be a triple threat. But this just seems kind of dumb. And then later they even had it where they finally jump Rhea for destroying them out in the ring. Bianca jumps her, then Io jumps both of them, and then Rhea still stands tall. And I just don't necessarily see what they're doing with this. I like the triple threat. I really do. I just don't know the whole contract thing seemed kind of bad. But I'm still along for this. I'm still along in this storyline. I like it. It's the better of the two women title matches for sure by match and story. But I'm still looking to see how they're gonna do this. Then we had Seth Rollins. I love Seth Rollins. And I think he does really good in promo work. But man, they let him just die out there to a certain extent because he's cutting a promo against CM Punk and Roman Reigns that are both not on the show. So there's going to be no rebuttal. There's going to be no back and forth. He's just going to spew up a bunch of stuff, and it's not going to make a lot of sense. And they're trying to paint him out almost as a victim, even like in the promos saying like, oh, Roman Reigns viciously attacked him. Seth Rollins carb stopped the man twice. Like, I don't think Rollins is the victim, and I don't think it matters. Well, they're all basically like people that are like right between like heels and faces. They're all three of them do that, and we don't even need more than the push that we've already got to make a great night one like opening match or even night two opening match. It should be the opener because it's gonna burn down the barn and needs to be up in that card look where they're you're like in I want to say night two for sure because it's like it starts it off and then ends with Cody and Cena. Like that's gonna be memorable. That's gonna be a beautiful sandwich because both like ends are gonna be great. But yeah, I kind of didn't really like this. It was okay promo, but I just feel like it would have worked if they had one or the other two there. Right? I know they're setting it up for SmackDown, all three of them being there, but it kind of felt like that was just to throw Seth Rollins out there. They could have literally had Seth cut a 3 minute backstage feint and give the rest of this time to one of the other matches that got less than 5 minutes, and I think I would have been a lot happier for the show in general. And then we had the main event, which was Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor. I think the match itself was pretty solid. It was only 12 minutes. It wasn't really long. It ended up with Dom accidentally costing Finn, and which will set further that story. So it was good to have, but it really just kind of hasn't been working for Finn in recent, I would say like a year now, if not longer. And I kind of think like they need to set him up with like getting a rebound win or two, just like against somebody on the roster, throw somebody out there. I just feel like it's kind of one of those things. Like even Finn versus Jay, and then have Gunther come out there and choke out Jay or something. Just get this man a win, please, sometime. I'll put this in B. It was definitely the best of the B category, but I don't think I'd put it much higher. And the show, I would just say I put it in a B. It's memorable because of the first 15-20 minutes of the John Cena stuff, but if you watch that and then just got a little highlights of the rest, you would be okay because nothing else of substance happened. Obviously, next week's show seems more loaded, but I feel like we're, still trying to get some of these paths for some of these people to have a WrestleMania moment, and a lot of these feuds are just a little bit undercooked right now. But yeah, that's been my Raw review. Look out for my SmackDown review. I've been also doing Evolution reviews. If Evolve, why Evolution? That's the thing. Evolve reviews on Thursdays. I pretty much put the review on the next day of the live show. So Raw Tuesday, Evolve Thursday, and SmackDown Saturday. I might do some NXT too. The NXT show looks pretty stacked, so I might do that too this year, or not this year, this week. Just kind of depends. And I got a bunch of 2K stuff, so if you like the video game, I'm gonna have that coming up, and then I'm gonna put it all together for a nice video of reviewing the game at some point too. And I got a bunch of Stardom stuff, so if you're interested in Stardom and wanting to get like a beginner's guide, I'm starting a beginner guide series coming up soon. I think Sunday is the first episode, and I will probably be releasing them every Sunday depending on other stuff that pops up. But yeah, so if you enjoy any of that, just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.